Woo! We are live. Oh my goodness, team. Look what we have here. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great night. What else do I have to do besides do this? I have a ton of flowers and vegetables that I have to tend to. But this is riveting. You know, I get stuck and I'm like, amazing. But we're bringing up the past. The past. Way past. John McDonald, you're in here. This is going to be great. I'm going to get into more long form. What's up, S. Jones, doing stuff like this? Eddie, remember when? Let's bring up the past. Remember when he was a starving fartist and he would go to the school and ring the bell? He would have like 100 and some. Nick Becker's here and here. We were all a good little team. We had a great little time, and it was great. So let's start. Let us begin.
Oh. Welcome, all of Tyke's trolls. Thank you, Tyke. You know where to send them. And it's fine with me, brother. Fine with me, Tyke. You're on my interview list, by the way, Tyke. No hard feelings. Welcome. I'm glad you showed up. Thank God at least you showed up. Yeah, I figured we go live right now, right in the middle of Jose Sanders' 5th live stream of the day. I'm sorry if I'm screwing that up. My bad, Jose. Just needed a few minutes to straighten a few things out. Surely you understand. All right. So, good job, buddy. This is wrong. Don't be doing this. Let me just say this off the top, because I do have people, 6, 7 people who like to send me information. I don't blast those people because those people don't go around talking shit about me. That's all made up stories. If you're going to talk shit about me, make it true, and then we'll keep this on YouTube and we'll make it all fair and fun. Don't make up shit about me. All right? If you were here, I did a stream it was late July. And
what's making up stuff that you shared? Just a horrible incident that happened with your wife that you shouldn't have. That's not a lie. You shouldn't have did that, Freddie.
And one of my mods at the time was Fakers No Mo. And Fakers, because I stopped fighting with Evan, simply because I stopped fighting with Evan in the 33rd, Fakers got mad and blocked everybody but Rick Sanchez on my stream that night. Now, I was at a disadvantage because I couldn't see that. I did notice that Rick was in the stream. He actually donated to my to the whatever the hell it's called. Anyway, it's called something. I'm getting sidetracked. But I was like, oh, thanks, Rick. I didn't realize that everybody was blocked but Rick until then later on the next day when I went back to look at this. So, and then I started getting like hit with all kinds of emails. People in other chat rooms were like, good job, buddy, got me blocked. I have been unblocking people since late July, roughly like July 28th, which is an interesting date. So July, August, we're a month and a half now of almost 2 months now of I unblocked somebody today. I don't know if that person was blocked then or blocked before then, but Fakers had taken advantage of the wrench and used it against me, you see? So I want you to understand it from that point of view. That's why I've been left with no choice but to do it this way. Fakers isn't telling y'all shit about me that's true. He isn't trolling me with truth. In fact, the trolling that I've seen go on in other chat rooms in our community, I let that shit go. I let all of it go. I let the email he sent. We're going to read that one. The first one we're going to read is the first email, the last email he sent to me when he realized that I had called a truce with the 33rd, essentially. That guy, and I'm going to say he a lot. I'm misappropriating a pronoun there. I don't know if it's he or she. I don't know.
Wow. Can you guys hear me good? Let me stop for a minute. Is this coming across good? Let me go over to YouTube. Stop sharing. This is a professional shoot. Trying to. Oh yeah, I can see you guys over here. No, this is not when Eddie broke the skateboard, but it's very informative on who Fakers is. Tamara Doreen Farron out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Lori, what's going on? This is very important that we go through this situation here because a lot's to be said. There's a lot of information in this video that's pertinent to when people were doxxed and how information was shared through For Real, which is Roy Senior, Junior, Roy Young Jr. from North Vernon, Indiana. He has a lot to do with this situation. Also, Bo Rattazzi from Alpine, California. And the only reason I'm saying these people's names is because you can hear in the future that these people conspired to give Eddie my information because the word's on YouTube. And I just want to put this on wax. So here you go. And it's thank you for keeping all this stuff up, Eddie. You are amazing. And I like this. This is when Eddie was trying to make his way on YouTube. And what happened? Fakers happened. And we seen the same thing happen with Zane. Zane was killing it. 180 people, 212 people in there at the highest that I seen, digging shit. Then the women lady come in, the people that he starts mentioning, and it seems like they just kill channels. And the person that he mentioned, in my opinion, is Joanne, because we know Joanne talks to For Real. Riveting. Remember that. Riveting.
I'm kind of going by like the Spanish rules for whether or not it's a man or woman. So if it ends in an O, I'm going to say he. How about that? Okay. All right. So anyway, Fakers was just mad at me for ending my part in the war, right? And I was done essentially because it was wearing me out. I had a lot going on during the day. We were in the middle of trying to save the house. I was still trying every day. I go out and pound down doors and try to make money. It was just exhausting to keep up. Fakers would send me an email a day on the minimum, sometimes many more, with info and fighting words. And these people said this about you and this chat. So I had to go get caught up on everything. And it was starting to consume more than just a little hour of my day. It was starting to consume 2 and 3 and 4 hours of my day. And it was just not worth it anymore. And just to be fair, since we made this truce, since Evan and I came to the table, B&D and I came to the table, there have been no more attacks at me. And so if you were to stand in my shoes and see it from my point of view, my role in that war is over. In fact, my decision to call a truce with them was highly effective, right? There hasn't been any more of the bullshit, no more making up shit about me. And that's really what I wanted to get at. It was exhausting taking on 3 and 4 channels at a time, even with Fakers' help. All right. So, and here's a little note to you. If you're going to make up shit about me eventually one day, when I stop following through with your demands, if you're going to flip on me one day, maybe don't send me emails, because you know how I respond to that. All right. So especially Fakers no more. They know how I respond to people making up shit about me. For instance, you say Eddie beats his wife. Well, never laid a hand on her. But when you say that, I get to find out some information about you that might actually be true. And then I tell the community information about you that's actually true. Irrefutable evidence sometimes too, right? So
This is so good. I love that he keeps this stuff up. It's just amazing. Remember all these people? Kevin Richmond, Fat Daddy Slim, Joe Cool, OG Butthurt, which is probably for real. Jeff Rowe, which is probably for real again. Dreamweaver, she's from The Boy. David M. I just seen David M. And there's Becker's 166 people watching. Where did this go? Where did this Freddy go? These battles were amazing. Now we're pulling 19, 40 at the most. We need to get back to this, Eddie. This starving artist, Eddie.
that's how I fight back. I don't fight back by making up shit. I don't play little footsie tootsie games. I fight back with the truth because the truth is unbeatable.
You make up a lot of shit. You make up, I'm a groomer. You made that shit up. We have video of you saying that you knew that I was just doing stuff to make you angry. And you made up tons of shit. I don't really have time or the effort to make videos. But yeah, you lie. You lie a lot, Eddie.
The truth is undefeated. Okay, you knew that. You knew how I fight. But you still chose to do it anyway. And like I said, it wasn't as big a deal in our community because, people know the history. But I was in another community the other day, and our boy Sam was in there, and I believe it was his first day. It was AJ's journey. I think that's the name. And AJ's Adventures, I think might be it, actually. Cool guy, very funny guy. And Sam's in there just telling it up, man, telling his life story, and he ain't holding back. And so I was like, ask him about this, ask him about that. And everything I said, Sam concurred. That was true, that was true, that was true. And Fakers is in there, and I know it's Fakers. He's using BND's girlfriend's name, and I know that's him because he told me he was going to do this when he found out Big Nick Digger's girlfriend's name. He made up a channel using her name with the same picture. I don't know if it might have actually.
Jang, you listening? Because I'm going to keep this up. You listening, Jang? This is like the real history. I mean, like people can put together dates of things, but let's let the president of YouTube and the community tell it like it is.
Actually had her picture for a while, but the picture that they're using now is that same troll picture that he used when he was making up the Good Job Amber. Okay. So he's in there under that name making up shit about me and to a brand new community. And I ignored it. I just went on doing my thing, and then eventually I left. But I was like, you know what, man? I've seen you making up shit about me in our community. Now you're doing it in a new community. And I never, ever, ever warranted. Like, I didn't earn that, just because I stopped fighting the fight, because I was done fighting a fight and made truce.
So hold on, little buddy. You get mad at Sam for going to a different community, a tiny community, AJ's Adventures or AJ's Journey or whatever the fuck his name is. But you go to the Boyd saying horrible shit, saying I'm a child groomer, stuff that destroys people's lives. That's what you did, Ed.
I don't think that warrants you fucking with me. You know what I mean? So you're just trolling me. And now here we come to, okay, so when I'm battling against somebody, I got to figure out who this is I'm battling against, right? Well, you're just a no name behind a fake name, right? Faker is no mo, right?
No, it's Tamara.
And the irony to this is that you came in here to clean up people's channels of all this, all this, the trolling and the bullshit, right? That's what you came along to clean up. but I think you got into liking being a troll.
Absolutely, she
You
did.
just like, you love it. There's some sort of power to it. And the fact that you're anonymous makes it even better for you. So the only way to get under your skin is to find out who you are.
And we did.
And so you have, I don't like to do shit like, okay, if I were the president and I'm at war with another country, I'm probably just going to drop the heaviest bombs we.
You are the president. So what are you going to do, sir? Since you are the president. Isn't that weird? It's like future casting. It's like, for telling the future, this guy, he's fucking good. We need to get him some fucking real equipment. Instead of glasses, we need to give him a T75, T954 fucking hookup with the radio and every fucking thing.
We have on you instead of sending people over there to maybe get killed. So I go, what can I do to fight fakers no more? Well, I can ask the community to look at some of these emails and decide if you know somebody who writes like that, talks like that, that isn't called fakers no more. Maybe they're called, and I'm just throwing out a few names here. Maybe they are for real. And you've had conversations with for real, and you go, that's how for real writes. He puts quotes around those words. He uses that word to describe this person. Or maybe there's something that you'll go, oh my God, that's how for real writes.
Wow.
Maybe it's Peeps California. Maybe it's Peeps CA. You're like, that's how Peeps writes. Maybe it's Enlighten. Okay. I'm just throwing out names. Maybe it's
I'm going to keep this up.
Maybe it's who knows, Kaz or Zane, or just maybe something in a few of these emails that I put up here trigger.
Or maybe it's a lesbian who beats her girlfriend, Jill, and her name's Tamara Doreen Farron, and she's out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And my God, do we have a ton of information. Not only was she sending you a ton of emails, she was sending someone else a ton of emails and screenshots and It's up.
Here's you, just you. And to remember when you communicated with somebody and it's not under the name Fakers No More. And perhaps you can then hit me up on my email at chimneyvent.com, of which I will not read to people. I'll get the information and then we will
welcome.
Expose. I am going to expose once I know who it is. I am going to expose who it is at chimneyvent@gmail.com.
And I'm going to stop it real quick. You know why it's the worst? Because they're around the Salt Lake. They're already salty. Their vaginas are just like, not like a normal wet veg. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're dry because of the salt in the air. Okay. I'm going to continue. Boop-be-doo. Oh, I went back. I fucked that one up.
So that's how I fight back. I don't fight back by making up shit. I don't play little footsie tootsie games.
You do.
I fight back with the truth.
You make up shit.
And I ignored it. If I were the president and I'm at war with another country.
You are the president.
At gmail.com.
There you go.
It's in my about page. So I've seen some of the comments about I shouldn't do this and all this bullshit, but I don't know any other way to fight with fakers and get it over with. This may not work.
It did.
This might not work. This could go on and on and on. Somebody said, I might want to be careful about this because fakers knows women who have maybe exchanged emails with me who might have something that I don't want people to see. There isn't that. The only thing that there could.
And I believe this about Eddie. I don't think he cheats on Amber. Who would accept him besides probably a black dude, maybe. But anyway, I don't believe that he cheats on Amber. But look at the depth that fakers would go to fucking not get her information out there. I might know people that sent you different emails. So is there other women out there sending emails to Eddie trying to sexualize him? in hopes that he takes bait in Fakers as a control of these women. This is weird.
To be out there.
This is just YouTube, Fakers. You need a Lifetime movie. The fucking Salt Lake City stalker.
That I would want somebody to see would be, because the only people I care about in real life are my family. And I've never cheated on my wife. I've never hit on a woman. I've never said anything salacious to a woman. I've never done anything like that. So the only thing that Fakers would have would be me shit talking another creator or another channel. And every time I've done that, I've been in a beef with that other channel. So that's fine. I don't care. And any other person who might have an email that I've sent that would be salacious, it's just going to be me. It's possible that I might have said some shit about other channels, but I was in a beef with that channel when I was saying that shit. So Fakers wants me to make sure that I release the voodoo. It's interesting that you want me to release the voodoo ninja email. Like that for all your bullshit, you think that you can still control how I fucking do this. You didn't control me to begin with, but you gave me a lot of information. And sometimes I ain't the best one with the information. Like, the only time I've doxed anybody, I slipped up and doxed somebody based on information I got from Fakers No More. I took a picture of the house on Google Earth. At the bottom, it had the address.
He doxed my ex. Fakers, why would you have that information? But we're going to figure out here because Eddie's going to tell us. It just takes time. This is why this is riveting. Fakers. All I said is I don't believe the story that Eddie put out on YouTube. I'm allowed to have a strong opinion. The part where you come in and dox people, that's weird. That's weird. And I know the cats and dogs, the fucking the roadrunner and the coyote, the gay and lesbian, we just don't get along. But goddamn, lady, you brought that shit into, like, you need a Lifetime movie, you crazy stalker bitch.
So, I screenshotted it. So I blew it up closer so that the address was out of it.
Fakers is still lurking.
It. And that night, only because right before I went live, I saw comment by this person, and he knows who he is, and it pissed me off. Right before I went live, all I intended to do that night on that live was play copyrighted music and take it down. I knew that I wasn't going to leave that up because every song I played was copyrighted. And I saw that and I did it on my laptop. So right before I went live, I saw that and it pissed me off. So I went on live, I went over, started looking through my screenshots of information that I had gotten from Fakers, and I screenshotted it. And that night, only because right before I went live, I saw
listen to this
comment by this person, and he knows who he is.
It was me. And I put right before he went live. Look at him smile. Eddie, this ain't that bad, buddy. It's fucking called comedic timing. I timed it perfect. I said Amber loves BBC.
And it pissed me off right before I went live. All I intended to do that night on that live was play copyrighted music and take it down. I knew that I wasn't going to leave that up because it was
right before he went live, and I was teasing him because I was on a dank ass vacation, and this is before people really knew I did dank ass vacays. And I was just living it up like a man of my age should be. Had my dog, had my motorcycle, just doing big shit. You know what I mean? And it made Eddie mad. So I was on vacation. He was going to go live. I put out Amber loves BBC. Go! And here's what happened.
Every song I played was copyrighted. And I saw that and I did it on my laptop. So right before I went live, I saw that and it pissed me off. So I went on live, I went over, started looking through my screenshots of information that I had gotten from Fakers. And I went to pull up the picture that I'd blown up of the house just to show that I knew the house, right? And when I went to show it, I either between turning like this or whatever, I had flipped over to the picture that wasn't blown up.
What up, Sammy?
So that I showed it, and then when I raised the phone away, the address was at the bottom. and I doxed somebody.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have that information because of something that you did. Here's the whole story, and I love doing stuff like this. I'm going to do 1 hour a week, maybe two, but guaranteed 1 hour a week of going over videos of this significance. That why would you have someone's information because of something you put on YouTube that we disagree with, and I'm allowed to disagree with you harshly. No matter what you put out, I can disagree with. It's like that's the deal on YouTube. What you're not allowed to do is look up someone's information, and the way you did it was pretty slick. So, and we're going to get to that. But what you're doing is illegal. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you for keeping this up. I appreciate it.
That never got posted. Wouldn't have been able to be posted anyway because I was copyright struck 500 times for the music. And I've talked to that person and apologized. It was an accidental doxing that I did on a live stream.
I don't
Nothing
accept
I
your
uploaded,
apology.
none of that shit. And I apologize for that.
I don't accept it.
But it goes to say that maybe mine isn't the best hands to be given information when I get hot because, you know, I don't necessarily play by people's rules, right? And here's the reason, because I've given you my name. You know who I am. Edward Thomas Harkinson Jr., go. Now, don't confuse me with Edward Thomas Harkinson Sr., because that man has got a record a mile long. My father is absolutely got a lot of dirt on him. And my stepdad's a murderer. So got some bad.
We don't care about that, Eddie. Those people aren't on YouTube. You trying to bring them on YouTube, I mean, you can mention them, but we don't care. We're not going to look them up. That's not what we do or did. You guys were the information gatherers. We were just like little trolls talking shit on YouTube when you brought up a salacious story. And keep going. This is great.
Got some bad people in my life, but not me. You know, I don't have any assault charges, no domestic charges, no DUIs, nothing. I've had some misdemeanor issues with driving, some tickets, you know, speeding tickets, things like that. But otherwise, so when you don't have anything in real life, you resort to making up shit. And that is the way I battle that is to get truth on you, irrefutable, and go at you with it. Because you can't battle the truth, right? I can disprove any bullshit you say about me. You can't fucking handle the truth. So I haven't been notified as of yet that Fakers has either taken down the channel, so you can delete your channel, or come on your channel and show us who you are. Since I haven't gotten that yet, I'm going now to go pick up the phone with all the emails on it, and I'm going to start to reveal.
Yes.
And there was a comment last night on another stream. I hope it wasn't about me. But that person said, you know, yeah, I read the chat. They read the chat. And unlike some of these stuck up people, I hope that wasn't about me. I'm blind. For me to read the chat, you'd have to get a close up of me that would be scarier than the storm on Jupiter as seen by the Hubble telescope. So I go back and read your comments later. So please feel free to comment. Load this thing up full of shit you want to say to me. You can be mad at me no matter what. Working to Be is a fantastic moderator and
yes,
probably the hardest working mod in the game. I appreciate everything you do, Working to Be. If you're here tonight, you know, unless it's doxed information or shit like that, you know the rules, bro. Let them have at it with me if they want to. I don't mind.
Yeah, Working to Be was a good mod, absolutely, and a good person. I like that fool. I wonder where he went.
And the criticism, because I know this is controversial what I'm doing, but I don't really know any other way to uncover who Fakers is. And without knowing who Fakers is, it's hard to do a battle, right? So I've been poked and prodded long enough by Fakers that it's time for me to fire back. And I gave you 2 months.
This is old.
To leave me the fuck alone. You wouldn't.
Old.
Now it's showtime.
Now it's showtime, everyone. Here's where he starts busting out all the fucking emails, and I love it. It's
Oh, that's a delicious can of whoop ass.
delicious.
Oh. Oh. Yes, I didn't mean to break your heart. And if, if I always seem distracted, like my mind somewhere else, that's because it's true. Yes, it's true. Da, 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 da. Okay, last one here says, thanks, Edward. I knew you'd give him my email. You don't have an ounce of integrity in your body. And that is because I gave the email, which you could tell this email wasn't this person, Fakers No More. It wasn't their personal email. I'm not going to tell you how I know that, but you could just tell. It was an email specifically for contacting me.
Wow.
And we'll get to that.
Crazy behind encrypted shit,
but
son.
This was
Encrypted.
after he took the wrench and blocked everybody on my channel. And also after he wrote me this, he or she wrote me this. Make sure I got this. There we go. All right. I'm going to read it out loud, then I'm going to bring it over here and put it up here for your screenshot pleasure.
Please.
So that you can go back and read it later.
Please do.
This is the next to last email that I got. This came after I decided to squash the beef with Evan in the 33rd, B&D, and all, Tally and all of them, Sam, all of them. I'm like, enough of this shit already. Let's be done with it. Personal choice. Let the record show Edward Thomas Harkinson chose the punk who was shot for harassing a crippled man, arrested at a methadone clinic, and allowed his child to go into foster care over a mother. He names a woman here. I may have to not let y'all see that. It was a woman I was going to interview who had accused Mike Dibble.
And let's talk about Fakers, a lesbian, beating her lesbian lover Jill so many times that she was arrested. And that's kind of how we got her information. Overcome and more will always be revealed. Let's reveal this. I was sitting in the park one day in the early month of May, and I woke up to a surprise that there was a mugshot in a state in city. And this mugshot took the team 6 days to find out who it was. And we scrolled the mugshots and scrolled the mugshots, and we found out who Fakers No More was. We found out that it was Tamara Doreen Farron. So whoever in the world sent the mugshot, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So let's not forget, Tamara Doreen Farron, all the dirt that you've done. You're not even allowed to be around your girlfriend. And, as a horrible person that you say I am, I don't have one domestic violence, unlike you, Tamara Doreen Farron. You have 18 domestic violences. Wow. Serial bitch beater. Bam.
Of some things, but she never pressed charges. So there were accusations made, but she never pressed charges. She says for fear, out of fear, she never pressed charges. And I asked her to do an interview. She changed her mind about that. She may still email me a written statement that I can read to you, but she hasn't yet. So I'm gonna push up there, and I'm just gonna be able to. I'll read this one because I can't put her name off of this one. So I'm not gonna dox people out. I will. The sole purpose for this of me showing you the emails is that you can get maybe who this person is. An additional victims of Michael Dibble. I say you chose him because you stated you have spent hours on the phone with him, allowing him to convince you that everything he said and did was simply a public service announcement to remind folks to trust the scales of justice. You could have had a groundbreaking interview with her instead. I'll be passing her information on to a well-established and reputable creator. Parentheses, no one in this ridiculous community, parentheses, to get her story out there. Full stop. I spoke with her on the phone for almost an hour. She does not want to tell the story. She wants it to be told without her name attached to it, if it can be. So that's the reason it didn't get done. Because if anybody has a story, I'm willing to hear it. Doesn't mean I support it or do support it, whether or not I believe her or don't believe her, but I believe it's important for the community to hear it. And I would be willing to.
Stop that shit with your nose. Get a fucking handkerchief like a real man. But I agree that he was looking for an interview with this lady. But I think you lie a lot, Eddie. I believe that you lie a lot.
In the platform to hear it. Either way. All right. And notice how he says no one in this ridiculous community. There's somebody I know, like for real, had been on his channel talking about how this community was falling to shit. And there are a few other things said in emails that made me think this was for real. And I'm still 99% convinced that it's for real. So, but I don't want to cloud your vision when you are reading.
Let's talk about something real quick. It is called gang stalking, and it's real, but it doesn't help when a lot of crazy people think that they're being gang stalked when they're not. When you have Tamara Doreen Farron, Bo Ratazzi, Roy Young Jr., and Joanne Zagulia all together getting someone's information to give it to Edward Thomas Harkinson Jr. to stop someone for saying what they're allowed to say on YouTube. That is called blackmail, and that is called gang stalking 101 right there. Have a nice day. We used your silly stories on YouTube to hurt your feelings so bad that you fucking blackmailed and gang stalked people. Wow, that's called that's how you lose on YouTube. Durr.
These emails or hearing them, I want you to be because I could be very wrong here.
And on top of this, my mental jujitsu is so good, I turned your team against each other. Look at this here. You're literally fighting the hand that fed you. I did this. It was great. It was great, Eddie. I miss this old Eddie, though. This journalistic Eddie. You look like you're on drugs or Adderall. You keep sniffing. It's either you're lying a lot, you got a cold, or you took your drugs through your nose holes.
All right. To get her straight. Meanwhile, enjoy little Davy screaming free Mike Dibble and Tally throwing up his strongman arm and turdy turd in quotes. Maybe if you're lucky, Sam will come on your show and mentor you on how to grow your channel and run a business. Don't forget to unblock Natalie Hively and S. Simons. They're great about throwing that BBC in quotes term out there. And by all means, believe everything Rick Sanchez says. So again, I can cover. That was the last one I got. I don't want to put her name out there. So, okay. All right. The one before that. Gosh, Eddie, I can't believe you took away my wrench. I mean, I never said your wife likes BBC. Never said you're abusing your MIL. Never said anything about your kid being in diapers. Never accused Cal and Kaz of being involved in a dibble setup. Never made fun of you being on drugs or pushing a stroller to work. Never threatened to sue you or reported you to YouTube. You've got great taste in friends, and it's really special that y'all are back together. Go turdy turd. Free Mike Dibble, not remember the right to a fair trial. That's in quotes. Because you know the best way to remind people of due process is to gaslight the shit out of them by screaming he's innocent. What's Davey gonna do when Mike is found guilty? Hope you're prepared for that tantrum. Go turdy turd. Good luck, Edward. Sincerely, John.
Wow, look at that fear mongering. What did I do? I accepted it. I accepted that Mike was a scumbag when he took the plea and he didn't come on the next day and have a conversation. I accepted that all the stuff I did was in vain. And I was out there saying free Mike Dibble and he was a fucking scumbag. What can you do? Sometimes you're wrong.
And here you go.
Look at that. Look at all them words. They're perfect for each other. I'm starting to think that Fakers No More is writing all of Good Job Buddy's community tabs.
Look at that. Here's how I'm going to do it at first. There will be a convening of minds that I think Tally is working on trying to get some people together. Definitely want to try to get anybody who wants to.
Hold up. Wait a minute. If it's a convening of minds, Tally will not be in it.
Get involved. We're going to try to do a private stream. But yeah, Fakers No More. To me, you're the biggest troll in the community now, and you need to be dealt with.
Facts. Put it down,
for a while,
President.
I was like, don't worry about him. He's just, let it go, let it go. When everybody was wanting information.
How riveting. How riveting. This is our president. And speak. Preach, Eddie. This was prime Eddie. 167 people in the chat. Prime.
And I'm like, let it go. Don't worry about it. If you ignore him, it'll go away. And you just never did. You just became a worse troll. I mean, I've talked to people off YouTube about, you're affecting people's jobs, their livelihood. Kaz said it very clearly. If you fuck with my money, that's a whole different story. And Fakers, you fuck with people's money. And I don't know who thinks.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. When a troll affects you so deeply, you don't tell people about it online. And the reason you don't is because you don't want to give them no jollies off of what they did. So a lot of shit done to me, done to other people, just wasn't said because we didn't give them the props. But Fakers did a lot of fucking weirdo in between looking at fucking midget lesbian scissor porn, would write people with their sticky nasty vagina fingers. Gross. Oh, I went all the way back. Oh my God.
In that moral compass, wouldn't you follow that? You don't.
Yeah.
With my money, that's a whole different story.
I'm good at this.
And Fakers, you fuck with people's money.
She sure did.
And I don't know who thinks they're friends with Fakers, but there isn't many people in these over 150 total emails, actually.
You ain't lying.
96 original emails and then the going back and forths that we have inside of all those. There's almost 200 total emails. There aren't many people on here who he leaves out of talking shit about. So if you're in this community,
it's Fakers. It's a
chick. Probably talk shit about you. He or she.
Tamara did.
I can probably say this because it's been said. When are you going to understand it was Finch who revealed the info about Amber? You are giving Sanchez way too much credit. I've watched him for over a year.
Listen to this right here. Listen. This is where they explain that they were going to have somebody attack me in real life. Listen to the location. Ready?
And I have yet to see him produce any information that wasn't already revealed by someone else. He has no power, and everything he says is repeating or making it up. He isn't in Detroit, and he isn't going to do shit to anyone.
Bam! Wow, that's fucking weird. You guys are weirdos. Okay, so Livonia and Detroit are very close together. And why would he say I'm in Detroit and I'm going to hurt somebody for your team? This is weird. This is fucking weird, man.
From the outside looking in, you have caved. I've caved to Evan, essentially. I'll still put it up, but you have to deal with it. And are assisting in his platform to prance through the community with absolutely no consequences. From before this date till now, Evan hasn't even made a video. Facts. From the outside looking in, okay, yeah, I said that. With no consequences for the shit he said and done. What I hear you saying is it's okay to shame victims. It's okay to make false allegations. It's okay to harass, bully, and lie. The list goes on.
Yeah, it is. It literally is. Under a name online, there's a lot of people that do that stuff, and when they make channels, they say things that might hurt your fucking feelings, lesbian. And that's what happened. You got your feelings hurt, and you're crying and trying to attack people. Yeah, yeah, I mean, first you have to be a victim to be shamed as one. And all of the stuff I said literally did not break the terms of service on YouTube. So why the fuck did it hurt you so bad? Crazy.
Which is ironic because that's what you do, fakers. If you believed sincerely in that moral compass, wouldn't you follow that? You don't.
What up,
You
Hamilton?
do all of those things.
Yeah, fakers did all them things.
It's okay
Harass,
to
bully,
shame victims. It's okay to make false allegations. It's okay to harass.
Bitch, you shamed my height all the time. You said I was a midget on a crotch rocket. I can touch, even if it's the tips of my toes on my motorcycle, bitch, I can touch. I don't have to jump off. I don't have to jump off and get back on my rockets, ho.
Bully, and lie. The list goes on. The old saying, if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything, stands true. I wanted to help you clean up your channel, but from what I see, you're not actually interested in that happening, so fuck it.
Let's pause this when he puts it up. I'd like to just say this whole stream that he's doing is sponsored by me. I got these two fighting. All this information that he's sharing is because of what I did.
Well, there's my reaction. I say maybe I should just expose everyone. He says, yeah, and you should do it on a live stream with Evan, Tally, and BND. That would be, to quote Evan, great, amazing.
Is Tally and BND in here? I think we switched Tally with Hamilton. So, and I'm sure BND is around.
Okay, I was asleep. Glad I was asleep last night. I'm 37 minutes into your stream. Regardless of Joanne and Rick's motivations, they are both far less dangerous than Evan. Getting back,
Rick, the child predator, the actual time after time after time after time said that he was going to do horrible shit to children. Him, right? And Joanne, okay.
Back into bed with him and his crew was a huge mistake, period. You can have peace without sleeping with the enemy. You may as well unmod me because I can't and won't be around for your streams when the Evans, Tallies, and Natalies of the world are given a pass for the way they treat other human beings. Later.
And that's you, fakers. You're saying the shit how they treat other human beings. And if that's the real Hamilton in there, please don't nobody block that channel. I'm sure it's probably already too late. Cool. She's still sober. Beautiful.
Again, when this gets played back, you'll be able to see it. I don't know if it's coming across backwards. It is on my side. I'm not trying to put stuff in there. I'm not yet anyway. I have to get some permission from some people before I can put up all of these that I'm reading because it's got people's name and I'm trying not to dox anybody on anything.
Wow, that's weird unless it's me. Unless it's someone that hurts your little fee-fees, Eddie. You'll dox anyone, dude. I seen you dox
He calls
women,
Voodoo
children.
Ninja doo doo.
I
Just
seen
so
you
you
dox an
know,
animal,
maybe that
a
rings
pet,
a bell with somebody.
the pet Sam stole. You doxed them.
I have no doubt that the two conspire, but I also believe the only stuff Rick shares with her is stuff he wants put out there. What do you mean about them manipulating? I'm not.
You hear that word? Starts with a C, ends with a spire. Conspire. That's what you do, fakers. You're literally you. Oh my god, lady, I'm too stoned for this, or I think I'm perfectly stoned for it because you're blaming everyone for shit that you do currently. It's so weird. You, for real. Kale Sherpa, Joanne Z71, and Good Job Buddy all conspired to get my information to dox me because I was saying mean words on the interwebs. That is called fucking blackmail and it's called gang stalking. That's what you did. Because I was one of these people, Shucky Jucky, which is probably for real, for real. Alpha Mertz, that is for real, for 100%. Just because I was one of these people, Rural Rules or Dreamweaver in the chat, and I was saying stuff you didn't like, you had to get my information. Well, listen, bitch. The funny thing is, who's here now? Tamara Doreen Farron from Salt Lake City, Utah. Your channel's gone. And we know all your information. You're a very abusive lesbian. You took a dildo and you beat Jill with it. We got the paperwork.
Not wanting specific info, just a general idea so I can observe and perhaps gather intel on it. Where do things stand with the house? Any hope, or is it being taken? That's
They
asking
lost
about the
it.
house. I'm really sorry for all
It's
you
gone.
are about it, and I understand the stress. Try to
It's
keep your head
gone.
up. Nice stuff. But perhaps you've gotten an email from somebody and you could tell me who writes like this.
Look at that. Fakers no more. He's like exposing her emails. Good
Fakers,
job,
for the
Eddie.
most
Good
part,
job,
was
buddy.
always, on my side or looking to help me out or get his
I
or
know,
her
Sam. We know.
agenda pushed out there.
Damn, look how you spelled cum, girl. It's
All
COME.
right,
That's
this is
how
talking about
that's when you shoot a
voodoo.
load. Bam.
Let me see. He calls him doo doo. Maybe you know somebody that calls Voodoo Ninja doo doo.
Yeah, her name's Tamara Doreen Farron. She lives in Salt Lake City, Utah.
He was pretty pissed when Voodoo Ninja went at me and was saying that I beat up Amber and shit like that. I wanted to jump through the screen of him fucking saying he didn't say you beat Amber. Boy needs to watch his own damn video. Takes no responsibility.
See, that's where I think the lesbian in Tamara Doreen Farron seen Amber Harkinson and wanted to bet her down. Thought that she was very beautiful. You know how you get like, oh wow, that person's good looking. And some people take that shit too far. I believe that Tamara took that shit way too far and became obsessed with Amber, if you will.
He's a little bitch. I'm pissed. Sick of these idiots. The voodoo email that Fakers wants me to release, I'm not releasing because there's no reason to do that. It's got information that hasn't been corroborated, and Fakers wants to release that, Fakers can do that on his own and own that on his own. This is I never saw an apology video. He was saying that Voodoo apologized. I never saw the video. I said it wasn't there. He said maybe he took it down. That's not somebody letting me know that Fakers has told everybody who he is, so we'll move on. All right, I'm going to scroll on down here. We're going to go past plenty of Faker stuff. We're going to go all the way to the beginning. I think this is important. May 23rd. Now, before I read this, I'll tell you a little story.
Skeet!
All right. I was having it out on YouTube with Evan at Slab City News.
Yes, sir.
Unprovoked.
Here.
Evan made a video. It was called Ambergate and all this other shit. Remember that?
But it was not unprovoked, Eddie. Literally the night before, what you did was, to me, the most horrible shit you could do to a human being. You were riding Kale's dick so hard. You said, Kale, you can say anything you want to Digger. And Digger, if you even pipe up and say, hey, you're not allowed to say that, you're fucking out of here. And that's what you did. And I let people know that we're allowed to talk about you. And we had the story Ambergate the next day. That was it, buddy. You did do something. It was provoked. You took a man's right to speak away and you let somebody else kick the motherfucker in the face with boots all night and he couldn't fight back. And that's not how I get down. Is that a bald spot on the back of your head, by the way? It looks like it. But that's what you did, Eddie. And that's why it was like, here, Zane Jr., we're allowed to have conversations and you can't dictate what we say. And it angered you a lot, dude. A fucking whole hell of a lot.
Later, I find out that he was attempting to get me involved in order to bring attention to what he would later refer to as, simply Mike being convicted in the public eye.
That's another misconception, man. You keep on saying that. And at times I'll even, just out of pure your stupidness, agree, but it's not the truth. I didn't do that to bring attention. I did that because what I thought you did with the Randy situation was appalling. That's why I did it. But, Eddie, you always make a bridge too far. You make these gaps in your mind, and it's okay, buddy. I understand at that point in time, you were on drugs.
And he wanted to get eyes on his channel because he wanted to talk about how his own family member had been treated that way. Fakers doesn't buy into that. But that hours that Evan and I talked.
And that's true. See? Fakers was finally right. I can agree with Fakers right now. That's not why I did it. I did it because you took a man's ability to speak away because you wanted to suck another man's dick.
That's what I'm convinced of, is that was his plan.
That you can be convinced all you want.
Enough to get me to talk about it so that we could get this big beef going back and forth and have plenty of eyes when he wanted to drop the bomb about the Dibble stuff.
Yeah.
At the time, I was just fighting with him. I got a call from somebody in the community, and they talk to on the phone, for real.
Joanne, alert, Joanne. Everyone knows that Joanne talks to for real. Everybody knows this. Listen to this very closely. Very closely.
And this person asked me, on behalf of for real, if I was having a real fight with Evan, if this was real beef, or if we were just making some bullshit up, if this was a game. And I was like, oh, no, this is real. And you know it's real. And he did know it was real. But the reasoning was because for real said to this person, he might want to help you.
Let's pause for 1 second here and explain how for real, Roy Young Jr. from North Vernon, Indiana, got this information. he emailed the Slab City News and said, I know that you're interested in ultralight hiking as Percival Howell. Send me your address and I'll send you some ultralight camping stuff. And my ex was like, didn't know anything about trolling and gave him the address to where I used to reside. And because of that, they were able to look up who lived there. And that's how Roy Young Jr. For real, got my information, then got a hold of Joanne and passed it along to Fakers and Eddie. Eddie, thank you for keeping this up because this really puts a lot of stuff together. Wow, drink that soda because you know you're in trouble.
So I get told, for real, might want to help me in this battle against Evan, right?
A lot of information out here.
I'm pretty sure it was the very next day.
The very next day. Pretty sure the very next day. Okay, so that ties in 3 people right there. That ties in Joanne. That ties in Roy Young Jr. And that ties in Fakers No More. Right there. That's 3 people. And Eddie, 4 people. Gang stalking and blackmail.
Pretty sure it was the very next day, May 23rd. So I wonder if Mr. Evan can afford month-long trips to India. Why did little Davy arrive in El Centro on the Greyhound bus from Fakers No More? So the day after I'm told that For Real might want to help me in this fight with Evan, which Davy is the name that For Real, I'm not For Real. Davy is the name that Fakers No More gave Evan. That's the best way I can explain that. All right. Dude, I have a hilarious video. And remember, man, we're looking for the way certain people talk. Dude, I have a hilarious video. Dude, I have a hilarious YouTube video to drop of Davey playing MMA referee. But I can't serve you this tea because one of your mods blocked me.
Okay, so playing referee. That means that I have been a referee for MMA in the past. And I don't know how you can play referee when I was literally the referee. I was official. I was working for the people there. I don't know how else you could play referee, but I was a referee. But what's more important is why is Fakers scouring the internet and figuring out every single thing about my life to bring it to Eddie because of words on YouTube? This is weird. This is a stalker in action. I think this is going to be called Stalker in Action, Volume 1, Starving Fartist.
Pardon me. P.S. You have horrible taste in mods. Mary Tillman is a Nick and Tally fangirl. And I said, I'll ditch those mods new at this.
That's what I do. And
I was very new at trying to mod up the channel at the time. And really,
it's fun, isn't it?
That doesn't mean they're good or mods or bad mods. What it meant was I needed some people who understood the beef that was going on. And I just picked people randomly. And that's how it ended up. Sent me that video, okay, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome, because it was great. I had never seen Evan in an MMA ring before, and I thought that was really actually cool shit. What really sucked about the whole thing was during this time, we're fighting, I'm like, this is like good stuff, man. Like, he really did fight in MMA. I mean, it wasn't UFC, but he's an MMA fighter, and holy hell, he looks so much different than he does now. Like, you know, you could tell it's him, but I mean, how much life had changed him that you knew he had a story to tell, which is sad for a guy like me to be fighting with him because that's what I wanted, was those stories. I wanted to talk.
Yeah, and it's not too late, Eddie. You can still tell my MMA story, how awesome I was. And I'm sure people would love to hear it. That's why you need to come to Michigan. You would have to like go to all the old haunts and like do a real in-depth video. That's still out there. The opportunity for you to do that is still there. I would pay for it. I would pay for it. So there is that. I still will give you the opportunity, Freddie.
tell stories, your story,
Yeah, my
anyone's
story.
on this channel.
Jesco's story. Adult duel. There you go. If you end up unalive, then you get the hand.
All right, so now there's info in here. Okay, keep this low. Come up from the bottom here.
Hey, Shady. We're just going over a lot of information on this, Eddie.
So again, go back and screenshot some of this, and
we are.
Maybe you'll be able to help me figure out who this is. Help us all figure out who this is.
We found out who it is. It's Tamara Doreen.
There's pictures. These are pictures that were sent to me that I put on that live stream that night.
Farron, Tamara Doreen Farron.
One more thing. I'm not a Cos fan, but it would be in your favor if he also communicated that Davey stooped so low as to hack your account. So okay, whoever this is not a Cos fan.
When did I hack someone?
There are 16 correspondents going back and forth over this. So I still haven't read all of it, but
okay, like I'm getting blamed for hacking his account, and he's going to go into that a little bit more. But at that time, we didn't know who Eddie truly was, but at this time we do. Eddie will lie and swear to it to cover his own tracks. How about instead of me having the power to hack your channel, Eddie, if I was going to hack your channel, I'd just get rid of it. So that's one thing. What Eddie did is gave me a wrench, knowing that I would get rid of everybody on his channel to use that as a smoke screen for him doxing me. End of story.
This person's not a Cos fan, so another little hint. Oh, this is okay. This is all reaction to my live stream where it all went to shit. All right, I did. If you don't know, I talked about it a little bit earlier. A long fucking day and came home after, I don't know, I walked a lot, 5 to 8 miles, somewhere in that general. I was trying to remember today exactly how far I walked. And it was hot, and I worked. And then by the time I got back, I had planned on doing a live stream. We were in the middle of our beefing going on, me and Evan, particularly me and Evan. He was getting help from D&D. So essentially, I was fighting with the 33rd. I don't know if if I had said my thing about them being in the 33rd or the lower third of Boyd, or however because I'm the one who was sort of named the 33rd by accident. I was like, we're Boyd, we're bottom of YouTube, and you guys, your mentality are in the lower third of the bottom of YouTube. So you're so low that you're in the 33rd percentile.
The 3-3.
And that's how 33rd got named. So I'm in this fight, right? And this particular day, instead of coming home and fighting, I wanted to come home and just play off one of my playlists, some music, just to introduce like my musical taste and chill. That was what I was going to do. And I was going to let it run for like 45 minutes and then kill the stream, not post it, be done with it. I saw what Evan said there right before I went live. So that's when I started just like showing, pictures that I had been sent from fakers. And that's when I accidentally doxed. And then I sat down, and I fell asleep.
Let's talk about this real quick. Why are you doxing me because I said Amber loves BBC? It is the truth. Before you, Amber's boyfriend was a black man. That means she loves BBC. Absolute truth. It probably hurts your feelings because you have a TWC, a tiny white cock. So, with that being said, Freddie, you lied about me hacking you. Let's get into it, please.
Listening to music. The fan was blowing. It was dark. I just lay back and fell asleep. And I swear to God, this is how it happened. I don't now. Later looking back, I thought I got hacked. Evan somehow had a wrench on my channel, and we still haven't. He still hasn't told me yes, I hacked you, or no, I got.
No, I did not hack you. I believe that you gave me a wrench knowing that I would block everybody on your channel and that would be sensationalized. So it would take away from you doxing someone, a smokescreen, if you will.
Got a wrench some other way. So I don't know how that actually happened. I just assumed I was hacked.
You weren't hacked.
But Cal called me and was like, "What the hell is going on with your channel?" He thought I was in on it with Evan, and I'm like, no, what do you mean? And I woke up to it just ended, and a barrage of emails came from fakers like, what the hell was that? He goes, what in the actual fuck? And I say, you tell me. I fell asleep and woke up when it ended. Cal called me. I asked if I had something to do with it. I'm intending on deleting the stream because like 75 copyright violations, but now I have to keep it to figure out what happened. Yeah, so I couldn't post it, but I have it still. And yeah, but YouTube had already said this isn't going up. You've played every copywritten song in the history. So he goes, I have a theory, but I'm not gonna bother telling you if you're just goofing on me. See, this is what happened right there at that moment. Let's get into this for a second because it's interesting. Cal thought the same thing when he called me. Cal was like, dude, are you and Evan playing some kind of fucking joke on us? Like, that's what he thought. And I could see how people would think that, because he had a wrench. But that's not how this went down. This was a fucking mistake. Either way, either I somehow one day before all this shit went bad, gave Evan a wrench and didn't know it. Because remember.
See, this is how a liar works. He wants to tell the truth. Eddie, just literally say that you gave me the wrench that night to create a smoke screen. It's okay. Build a fire and stand by the motherfucker on YouTube. I was in the live stream talking as a non-mod and then instantly somehow was a mod. So then I just started getting rid of people. Simple as that. You needed a way to bring the smoke off of you. And literally the next day, you made a video. And we're going to go over that video on the next This Is Awesome with Evan.
I had wrenched up a bunch of people just to have some wrenches. And I might have actually, and I've thought about this, I might have wrenched Hiker Evan, before we had this fight and not known that. Or
he has.
But just listen to the at that moment, there's
several
people on this other side were like, wait a minute.
Don't block Hamilton, people. If you keep blocking them, I'm gonna have to make them
straight up 8th grade. This gets real quick. You know what I mean? It's like, first of all, man, this is just YouTube beef. Okay, it can be hurtful words and things like that, but at the end of the day, man, you can just turn this shit off and not get back on, and it won't bother you anymore. Nobody's coming to my door.
Yeah, but that's where it comes to be not YouTube anymore, Eddie, when you start getting people's information and sharing it. Now, what you did was some horrible shit, because literally that night, Sam, who's in here, said, well, I got the information, wrote it down. There's only one address like that in America, literally, The address is spelled in a way that there's one of them in America. So, isn't it funny that Sam years later come putzing by the house on a stalking attempt through one of your friends, Buds, who sends marijuana to your house? Isn't that fucking crazy? So, stalking and doxing, it does have an effect. On top of that, you say that I'm a child groomer. So, your attempt to get people to attack me through several communities, Eddie, has just failed. And it just shows that you need people to fight your own battles, Eddie. I don't.
Door. I don't know about y'all, but nobody's coming to that door. Every fucking person in that house knows how to handle a weapon. Well, not every person. Most people in that house knows how to handle the weapons that are there to be handled, okay? So nobody's coming to that door. If they do, you get dealt with. And so in real life, it isn't crossing over to that part. But for YouTube beef, it's fun. It was fun. And all of a sudden people are like, I have a theory, but I'm not going to bother telling you if you are just goofing on me. If you didn't give Evan and Tommy those wrenches, and I didn't give Tom, I don't know, you got hacked. I suggest you start by unmodding the mods you have, except Cal and Amber. I would also suggest you hide from channel Hiker Evan. That ensures he can't get a wrench again.
Pause this right here. This is where Kale comes in. That's why Kale is such a big part of it. Because Kale and For Real were both super right-leaning Republicans. They hate queers, and they just had a bond together. At that time, their bond was to make Zane a real-life YouTuber. For Real was giving him money, and they were trying to make him like a Les Stroud or Bear Grylls, if you will. And it completely failed. But you see, Fakers No More. This is after they ruined Zane's channel and they came for Eddie's. And that's where the downfall came right here. They were controlling your channel, Eddie, telling you what to do, buddy.
All right.
And Kale was in on the shit too. Mr. I'm a good dad. I'm a family man. That's the people you got to
that's
watch
good
out
looking
for.
out. Most of this is good looking out. It's being
That's the
like
people
on
you
my
got to
side
watch
of
out
things,
for.
right? He's working with me, helping me out. He or she is helping me out. But after a couple hundred emails and after me squashing the beef, you would think that a person that angry with Evan would be like, hey man, you did it. You know what? You squashed the beef and he's no longer doing this and there's no more fighting back and forth. We've cleaned the channel.
Eddie gained
Success,
100
touchdown,
pounds
right?
for sure.
But no.
He gained a lot of weight.
It's a fucking fumble. Because once I made good and I'm not saying that we're friends. We're just not enemies. You know, I mean, maybe we're closer to friends now. But back then, when we squashed the beef, I was still very like, I wasn't being like, okay, let's go riding in the car. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be a little. We had to prove to each other that we could trust each other and be cool with each other before, because one day, a week or so prior to that, 2 weeks prior to that, we had tried to squash the beef. I came on Evan's channel, and it was like 3 days later we were back at it. So this was kind of a progress, and we had gotten to the point where I just said no more. I said no more, and Fakers didn't want it that way. So Fakers is now making up shit about me in the community. This is the only way I know how right now to at least get.
Well. Some people are just bored. They want to see other people fight online. And that's what Fakers was doing. And she didn't want the fight to stop. This was fucking entertainment for her. She was telling you what to do. Why didn't you just do it yourself, Fakers? Come on here with your weird looking fucking face and your voice and just tell me how you feel. You had to have Eddie do it for you. And that's what Eddie tries to do. Like, if I was the tip of the spear for Fakers, the other communities can be the tip of the spear for me, for Evan. But it don't work that way.
A few people, maybe somebody sees something in a few of these, they can glean the information off, and be like, I know who this is. Maybe this doesn't work, but this is only part 2. I plan on this being a 5-part series.
Shit, we
In
already know
uncovering
her
these
name.
fakers know more. Fakers know more, right? So it's a 5-part series. It's going to take probably 10 days to 2 weeks to do. I'm pretty busy. And I've got a massive interview I'm trying to line up.
Yeah,
Old Georgia
he's
Staros
gonna
scandal.
beat you. He's gonna beat you.
So, and I'm also got an old school interview to revisit. Someone I had on last year who sent some bombs down when she came on. I'm trying to get her back on. I'm not going to tell you who that is right now. I'll tell you it's a she. And
What up, Chicombe?
that's all I can say. So I got some other things I'm working on.
He
But in
never
the
did the
interim,
5-part series.
I want to find out who Fakers is. That's it. Fakers, you can come on your channel and just say who you are, and we can continue this beef and have a festival of beef.
Her name is Tamara Doreen Farron. She's from Salt Lake City, Utah. She's a bitch. She's a lesbian that beat her. You can look this up. You can look this up. We found her information. Her and her girlfriend, lesbian girlfriend, were in a sex act. A dill rod was in play. Look it up. She beat Jill with a dill rod. Domestic violence. That's one of several domestic violences that Tamara has. And it's funny because she always hid from people. Why hide? Well, because nobody besides you has domestic violence charges. Charged. You were charged. Lesbian. And you hit her with a
I don't
weapon.
intend to dox Fakers or as far as like info on anybody else Fakers gave me or any of that kind of shit. I'm not doing that. This is only for people to get the cadence of how he or she writes, and to see if we can uncover who they are. Because if you're going to continue to troll and be like that, the people need to know who the fuck you are. B&D trolls, but everybody knows he is. It knows who he is. You could say Evan was trolling when he was trolling. Everybody knows who he is. Cadillac Sam, Tallywhacker, all these people who were trolling or have been trolls, they have uncovered themselves in some way, shape, or form. We know who they are. They're not anonymously making up shit and trolling people. And I think that you become. I think you are drunk with evilness now. I think you started as a superhero and you've become a supervillain.
Absolutely.
You know, you were Anakin Skywalker, and now
Darth
you're Darth Vader.
Queerdo.
You Fakers have become the thing you hated the most.
Stop stealing my lines, Eddie.
The list of the people that Fakers talk shit about is long. I doubt there are many people who he's gotten in contact with and can call friends.
Fakers hated everyone besides Kale, Zane, for real, and Joanne at that time. Now they hate Joanne. So that's who it was.
There may be a few. Or maybe people who think they're friends with Fakers or friends with the person who Fakers is might go, ooh, ding ding, I know who that is. But like, some of you thought it was Kathy Jones. It's not Kathy Jones. Fakers talk shit about Kathy Jones. Fakers talk shit about Joanne. Fakers talk shit about Cause. Fakers talk shit about a lot of people. Not Cal. Not Zane. But a lot of the people think that this could be Fakers talk shit about. Talk shit about Adobe. I had forgotten that Fakers talk shit about Adobe because I was thinking that maybe it was Adobe. But I was reading some of the emails today and he did talk shit about Adobe too. Now, that could be just to throw me off. Fakers also, there's an email that Fakers wrote where he's saying that people think I'm for real, and they need to get over it. In other words, I'm not. But he also says, but for real, does bust them out of there, doesn't he? I wonder if I can find that one real quick. I had it on the other. I'll find that one and get that to you later.
This dude is such a liar. I can't wait to go over the "I was hacked" video.
Not
The
sure if you saw my
comments.
previous message about mods. Voodoo Ninja should definitely not be a mod. He's trying to get in touch with Evan. There's that one. This is before he started calling him Doo-Doo Ninja. Just so you know, this is before he gave me information that is pretty shitty about Voodoo Ninja that I never put out there because of what it said. And I was like, this has got to be definitely confirmed. In fact, what I said was, unless he goes ham on me, I'm not going to release this information. Unless he really starts making up shit about me. See? I don't do it unless you start making up shit about me. At the time, Voodoo did say that I beat on my wife. And apparently he made an apology video. I didn't see that video, but we did squash it. And I never had to release that other bullshit. That's what Fakers wants me to release, but I won't. Here he is talking about Adobe. Yep, Cliff, he thinks you're a piece of shit. Sorry.
Damn, hates every fucking buddy.
And this is Brian, I guess is Adobe's real name. So anyway, I'm hoping that we can figure out who you are, Fakers. If you're not going to just let us know, then maybe some people in the community will call you out. Because this is part 2. It ain't just Voodoo Ninja who he talks shit about either. It's a lot of you. And most of them were people that I was in beefs with. Absolutely. So it wasn't undue. I mean, you know, you were talking shit about me, I was talking, and him, and we were talking shit back. But there are some people I think you'd be surprised to know what he really thinks about you. He likes to say low IQ a lot. There's a lot of that in there. He signed off as John on one of the emails recently. I think I showed you that one, or if I didn't, I read it. And another thing, he says that he will be leaving the interwebs after September. To be completely frank, when he said interwebs, that's when I started thinking, man, is Evan playing fucking both sides? I was like, Evan says interwebs all the time. But I've heard a lot of people say it, so, but yeah, man, he says after September,
Eddie hasn't aged well.
Fakers No More is leaving the internet, leaving YouTube after September. So something in October is happening that I don't know about. Maybe it's fucking Renaissance Festival. I don't know. But he's going off for some reason, won't be able to get on YouTube after September. So these are some of the things that we can do tonight. I've showed you a few of the emails. I wanted to just touch on it. It'll get deeper and deeper. And what I'm going to try to do is get some of the other emails that have information on it and just take off the people's names that don't want their names out there. I'm going to speak with Evan on some things because there's a lot of things on here about Evan. And there are certainly going to be things on there that I can't put out. I got to not dox people. There's things about Tally I got to talk to Tally about. And, you know, other creators I need to get in touch with to make sure that they be okay with me letting some of these out. And I'm really not trying to show people how much shit he talks about people. That's not really my point. My point here is to kind of give you an idea who he is by showing you who he hates. We know that this person, Fakers No More, wants Mike Dibble to rot in fucking jail. Fakers No More thinks Mike Dibble is absolutely guilty. We know For Real thinks the same thing. And see, that's kind of where it doesn't make sense that Peeps would be Fakers, because I don't think Peeps necessarily is made up her mind on that. I don't think Enlighten has kind of hit a side or the other on that. It really narrows it down for me for how much seething animosity Fakers has for Mike Dibble, and it really came through on a lot of these emails. And I realized that I looked like I thought Mike was guilty too. I definitely, I kind of line myself up like that. And I'm not. I don't think he's guilty or innocent. I'm waiting. I'm not gonna fucking say one way or the other. I don't have a clue. I don't know any of the evidence to say whether I think he's guilty or innocent. I'm just waiting. Period. The only thing I can say is before July 28th, I thought Mike Dibble was a cool guy. Everything I heard, not everything, but a lot of the things that I've heard from people about Dibble behind the scenes say that he was kind of a dickhead or an asshole. You know, maybe he was that way to get shit done that needed to get done. Maybe he is just an asshole. I don't know. But what I saw on YouTube, I liked. I was a fan. And I can't make any determination one way or the other. I don't believe this or that. I'm going to wait. Doesn't mean I won't interview people or allow people to come and tell their stories where it concerns this, but I will make sure that people understand this is their story. Kind of like with Nikki Bailey. We had her on. I just let her tell her story. I didn't do much of anything. She had a story to tell, and I just let her tell the story. And of course, Kaz fired away at me, talking shit about my journalistic integrity when I'm like, I'm fucking not a journalist. I'm hardly a human at this point, you know? Like, I hardly qualify as anything. I'm just, I'm just another one of these people in the community who makes videos. And yeah, a lot of it is centered in and around drama. But I ain't making up shit about people. I only go after the truths. The Joys of Sorrow thing, that's all 100% true, Deb. I can't help it if it's true, honey. I'm sorry if it upsets you. It upsets me that he's a racist and he just gets away with it too, right? The Cadillac Sam thing, he stole a fucking dog, and that pisses me off. I can't let those things go. I'm sorry. I'm like that. I'm just like that. Jose, I don't mind if you eat. Go ahead. Part 3 is coming next. Fakers, no more.
That was it. That was it. All right, let's.
And before we get into the
share. All right, everyone, that is it for the evening. Let's get out of here. It was recorded. Give me 1 second. September 19th or September 24th, 2019. Get out of here, that not me. I know exactly who you are, and you are a bitch ass honky. 420 is coming soon. Get out of my channel. No one, I don't like you at all, bitch ass boy. Bitch ass boy. Bitch ass boy.